Leah Jorgensen here in Newburgh, Oregon, and this is Between Two Vines, my internet show. I'm happy to introduce a guest who, in wine circles, really needs no introduction at all. Welcome to the show, Harper Voit.
It's actually Drew. You should know that used to work for me.
Right. It says on the bottle, Harper Voit. So Harper, what role does Drew play in the winemaking? How's your sister, Angelina? Angelina Jolie, or should I say Angelina Voit, because her father is celebrated actor John Voit. Your dad, too. Do you and your sister still kiss in public? So Harper, what part of your training actually made you a Jedi master winemaker? Because everybody in the Valley knows you're really smart.
I've just been doing it a long time. It's all I've ever done.
Do you see yourself more as Yoda or Obi-Wan? Or is it more likely we'd find you dressed up as like a Klingon at one of those Trekkie Comic-Con conventions?
I don't think any of those. I'm not the one who dresses up like an extra pirate wench from a bad redo of Treasure Island.
They call the noted winemakers who once apprenticed under you, specifically during your tenure at Domaine Serene and Shea Wine Cellars, as the Drew disciples. But you don't believe in God.
Well, it's not my term. Thankfully, I don't know what kind of an asshole would make people who used to work for him assume a moniker, but it was a name somebody else gave, and it's funny. You are one. So.
Do you get a lot of doppelganger comments for your striking resemblance to the acclaimed comedian and actor Zack Galifianakis? Remember when we were going to make a Harvest t-shirt back in 2010 as a Hollywood blockbuster film called The Crush, and we all picked out the actors for each other who would play us.
I do.
We picked Zack for you. That's
true. I think we were going to cast you as Heather Graham, the prostitute with the baby, if I recall.
I was going to be Julia Roberts.
That's not how I remember it.
It's Julia Roberts. Okay, Drew. Drew Voit. You were raised in California and went to school at UC Davis. What made you head up north to Oregon?
I tasted some Oregon Pinot Noirs in the mid-'90s when I was a student and piqued my interest and turned into one road trip to check it out, turned into two, and then a move up here in the late 90s.
That's cool. What do you think is the greatest challenge for winemakers today?
Oh, wow. There are a lot. I don't know. I think just continuing to improve your craft and not resting on dogma or formula. Mm-hmm. I think people can get stuck in a rut, and the wines show it.
Yeah. What is your favorite part of the winemaking cycle, and what do you look forward to the most each vintage?
Harvest time, making the decisions about when to pick and vinification decisions. Yeah, I don't know. I like all of it. I like all parts of it. There isn't a part I don't like. Well, that's not true.
Bottling?
I don't like bottling. Yeah, and I'm really bad at bookkeeping and things like that.
What would you say is your signature style across all vintages? What makes your wines unique or unique to you?
Well, I think my focus is to really try to find ways to make wines that are on the very intense and present and energetic side of the spectrum, which means I make wines that are probably a little darker, a little richer, a little more intense than some. That's certainly a goal.
What are you most proud of in your 20+ year career as a winemaker?
Honestly, even though it was a joke about the disciples, I think I take a tremendous amount of joy on a regular basis at being able to count as friends and colleagues a lot of people that worked with me and have those relationships really persist. Some people hate their bosses and don't work somewhere anymore and leave it behind, and I'm kind of honored and flattered that that's not largely the case.
Not at all. He's being super humble. Not at all. Yeah, if I can say, I mean, it's rare when you get to find someone who you say, I want to work for that guy, you know, and to be able to then do that, it's pretty much a dream come true in any, I think, career aspiration. So you are that guy for a lot of people. I
appreciate that. I had people that helped me to kind of come up, and then it's nice to have the role reversed. Yeah, I try to be. I'm humbled by it, not emboldened by it.
What would you say is you actually, and one of the things I really liked and respected about you is before political change and wave has happened, for a long time you've hired women in your cellar. I mean, going back to when I started, there was Andrea and Rita, and I'm giving first names right now, but
shout out to Destiny.
Shout out to Destiny, of course. I was not going to forget Destiny, but you tended to have a balance in your cellar. It was always that. It seemed like it was always that case. Was that intentional, or was that?
I don't know. It was so much intentional as just circumstantial. I think I don't know that I ever gave it any thought one way or the other, and. Maybe I don't know. Yeah, certainly I wouldn't say particularly intentional, but it worked out that way. I think the industry it's historically kind of male dominated, and I always noticed that and thought that's probably not a good thing, and it's increasingly not male dominated. Yeah. But I just hire people that seem like it's always a culture fit for me. You hire people that their skill set is important, but the way they connect with the rest of the team is more important. And you can train people to do a variety of things, but you can't fix a poor culture fit. So you hire people that you like and that understand you and want to work to the same goals.
That's great. So with Harper Voit, now that you have your own project, and it's been several years now, over 12 years, 13 years?
About 12 years. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yep. And you have Custom Crush clients. You've really built for yourself a really great model to not only keep your hands in your own project, but to help out and keep some interesting things on the side for you. Is that sort of something that keeps things from getting boring in a way? Does that kind of, aside from the obvious, like it's revenue, it's a business, but aside from that, do you find that having clients and doing different projects around the state, or even possibly out of the state, I'm not sure how far your stretch goes, does that keep you interested in learning more, and like what's the for you?
Yeah, I mean, certainly there's a revenue component to it, but that the truth is that I could have stayed an employee winemaker and had an easier road, but it's not what I wanted. I wanted to explore my own kind of interests with my own brand, but also keep it small so that it was manageable. And it, just like I feel about the people that used to work for me and the roles I see them, the successes I see them have in the industry, some of the brands that we work with, I'm involved in well over a dozen projects in one way, shape, or form, and to see these things either launch from the ground up and bring me into it, or to hand the reins over to me for that part of it, the from the vine to bottle part of it, and then see these brands become impressive, and that I get a lot of pride from that. I do, being a part of seeing those things come out of nowhere or turn around.
So you do believe in God?
So still don't. No, still don't.
That was a very lovely, almost spiritual thing to say.
Ah, okay. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Okay, and then now you are getting ready to break ground on your own winery, and that has got to feel really good and exciting. And tell me, what led up to that? How did you get there?
It's also terrifying. Well, we just got to a size with the work we were doing for clients that leasing space from other people was becoming difficult to fit everybody's production into one space, and challenging to manage relationships with landlords and sharing space with other people on occasion. And well, you shared space with us, although that worked beautifully. It's a challenge to work in situations where not everything's under your control. So the business matured to a level where it was time to do it, and we took the leap. And it's scary, but it's happening. They dug a hole and poured a slab, and metal starts going up in the air any day now. It's exciting.
I want to say congratulations because it is a big deal. And as a small producer myself, to vision like what that next step is and how to get to that next step, it takes a lot of energy and it is stressful. It is a hard thing. So the fact that you are on that path right now it's a big congratulations.
Well, and we get to enjoy the fact that we're getting the band back together because Leah Jorgensen Cellars is moving into our space. So we did it together for years.
You heard it here first.
We did it together for years in the same space, and it was the first call I made, and you said you wanted to do it on the first call. So
absolutely, without hesitation. So
I love getting the band back together.
I know,
always.
That's cool. Yeah. It's very cool. Well, thank you for your time.
Oh, my pleasure.
It's always a pleasure to
Thanks
see
for having
you.
me. It's a lovely place you have here. I love this wonderful set.
We spared no cost.
Yeah, I can tell.
At all. This is from the heart right here.
Well, thanks for having me.